This is an $86,000 2021 Ram 2500 Limited. In this video, we are going over all the crazy gadgets and gizmos you gotta see. We're gonna start with the floor mats, which is granted a very strange place to start, but these are some very strange floor mats. Now they're kind of half rubber, half fabric, and of course you can remove the whole thing. Now this is a little bit odd in itself that you would have a fabric portion on a rubber mat, but even crazier, you can remove, unbutton the cloth portion and take it out. Now this would be great if you want to just keep this thing clean, or you want to clean this in your, I don't know, washing machine. It's also great if you want to use this now as just a plain rubber floor mat. It's just weird that they give you the half cloth option. Here in this center console, you've got this limited script and this really intricate stitching, which you'll see elsewhere throughout the cabin. It looks nice and it feels good, but that is by far the least interesting thing about the center console because it does some crazy stuff. Now, first of all, you lift it up and there's a cubby. Nothing all that unusual, a little USB port, but the craziness starts with the configurability. In this front portion, you push up this wood panel and it reveals two cup holders. You push up this wood panel and it reveals a cubby with some slots for coins, but this entire portion actually slides at the push of a button. You can see it slides out of the way, and now you've got access to this ginormous bin. Now if I fully lift up the armrest portion, the first thing you notice are the math equations and trigonometric ratios. This would be great if you were in high school and you own this truck studying for that trig test, but it is a pretty cool thing to see. And my favorite part is down here. It says Ram, designed in Auburn Hills, Michigan. Now with the armrest portion flipped up, we can slide the cup holders forward and we have more giant hole to fill things with. And one of the coolest parts is down here, this little divider that has every generation of Ram heavy duty truck, going from the first to the second. That's a videographer Case's truck, third, fourth, and this little panel flips up if you want a little divider. Now another interesting thing, there's a line here that says max fill. That's just so that if you want to slide this back, you're not going to be running into your items, or you can leave it slid on forward. Now you've got a giant cubby for to put things in. At the front of the giant cubby is the Ram charger. Aha, you thought the iconic Ram charger from the 70s and 80s was dead. Well, it's no longer its own individual off-road model, but now it's what they call the wireless charging tray in Ram pickup trucks. Now when I put it in there, the phone stands up, which is nice in case I need to access it for like Apple CarPlay or Google Maps. But even cooler than that, it's got these little itty bitty feet so that the whole thing stays nice and secure. There's also another cubby over here which you can place your phone into if you want a little bit of extra security in terms of tightness, and then you can run a cable down to one of the plugs and there's a little slot so you can plug in your phone. One of the stranger exterior badges on the 2500 is this Ram air suspension. Not very often do you see a vehicle advertising its suspension system, but in fact the 2500 does have optional rear air suspension. It's only on the back of these Ram 2500 pickups, but it's super handy if you're hauling a lot of weight. The thing's going to squat down and the air suspension is going to jack it back up. There's also a button on the inside. Here in the giant 12-inch Uconnect screen is a bed lowering button, which can be handy if you're trying to load stuff into the back of the truck and you want to bring it on down a little bit. The Limited is covered in this lined wood. It almost looks like something off a yacht, but they even include it up here on the steering wheel, which is something you're either going to love or really hate. Also nautical themed, all right, probably not, but the cleats up here for the tie-downs on the bed, a little bit unusual, at least in the heavy-duty pickup market. These circles in the bed are for the gooseneck attachments, and check this out, there's a little Ram branded kit here, but here's the basics on how they work. So first you gotta twist these little circles and then pull them out, and then you get to open up your Ram branded kit. This big greasy thing is of course your ball, and then these are the places where you attach your safety chain. So those just kind of go in there and twist, and then you can secure them in place. It's all very easy to use, super handy, and it's nice that it's included in this rather elegant packaging. The rear seat in the 2500 Limited is super comfortable, as you might expect. Also have more of that elegant stitching. It's up here on the back of the seats. It's also on the front seats. Of course, the yacht in style wood is throughout as well. I will say that as nice as this interior feels, this dome light feels terrible. Look how much the headliner moves when you turn it on and off. It just doesn't sound good, doesn't feel good, doesn't look good. No, that's a no-go. Now, first of all, the seat's bottom folds up, probably not all that unusual, and you've got these little dividers that will also fold up. if you're looking to keep some stuff secure. But the cool part is that now these turn into legs and the floor folds forward. Interestingly enough though, the cup holder remains where it's at, and there's a little cutout so you can still place beverages in there. Although I imagine like furry friends would get their little paws stuck in there. Not sure how that works. Now the screen in this Ram is ginormous, it's a big 12-inch screen, but interestingly, when you put it into reverse, the cameras themselves are pretty small. Now there is a full suite of cameras. You got the 360 degree, you've got backup cameras, forward-facing cameras. You also have bed cameras, which is pretty helpful. These mirror side cameras, and you can even pan them a little bit. But I just wish that it would take up more of the screen, and part of that could be because, you know, this is the whole landscape versus portrait thing. But it is nice to have a bunch of different options. Look, you can even adjust the center line for when you're backing up your gooseneck. This right here are the off-road pages. They do take quite some time to load. It says may be lost but never stuck. And these are pretty cool. You see these a lot in Jeeps, but I didn't know that the Rams have them. First of all, you've got vehicle dynamics pages that'll show you your steering angle. It will also show you when you are in low range. Then you've got accessory gauges on this page, so oil pressure, oil temp, coolant temp, that kind of thing. And there's also a pitch and roll page as well. Now this truck does not have the rear locker, but if you had the rear locker, it'd also show you when that was engaged. This is the four-wheel drive selection panel on the Ram 2500 heavy duty. I like how it says HD up there, heavy duty, to differentiate it from the light duty trucks, but 2 high, 4 high, 4 low. Interestingly enough, this one doesn't have four-wheel drive auto, which I would expect to see at $86,000. Also no locker on this one, although it does say 4x4 in this vintage ribbed lettering script. The door cup holders here have a pen holder, which is a little bit unusual, and they're like a foam. I've never seen this. Usually you have like a rubber insert, but the whole thing is made out of like this really kind of squishy, pliable foam. Oh, look at that, hand wash only. Apparently easy to damage as well. Pop that back in there. Now, the speakers on this truck look super nice. It says the Harman Kardon audio package, but rather than just being like a standard black plastic speaker grade, they've really gone to town with the design, and I do love the speakers above the rear passenger headrest. Take a look. This 2500 has the Cummins 6.7 liter turbo diesel. It's a great engine. I will say it's very tall. I don't know how folks are going to work on this. I mean, it's 6'1", and I can barely touch the top of the engine there. But some interesting things about it. First of all, it's got dual batteries, and it's got the largest cooling fan I have seen on any engine ever. It's got to be 3 feet in diameter. It's massive. Well, there you have it, the $86,000 Ram 2500 Limited Cummins. Be sure to stay tuned to TFLtruck.com. Andre's got a ton of towing tests coming up with his beast. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.